Are there certain objects in your home that give you goosebumps, or feel like they might jump up and attack you at any second? Maybe you have an old doll in your attic, or a spooky mask hanging on your wall. Whatever it may be, chances are you've had some creepy encounters with haunted objects in your life. But while we can shiver down our spines thinking about encountering ghosts in our homes, haunted objects have also been known to cause all kinds of chaos, from haunting people's dreams to bringing their worst fears to life. Here are just a few of the scariest haunted objects in the world, and why you should never mess with them. First up, let's look at this doll named Annabelle. She's not a very good girl, unlike the Annabelle doll, which is kept today in the Warren Occult Museum in Connecticut. Unlike ordinary dolls though, Annabelle is said to move on her own, leaving messages and causing strange events for those nearby. So what makes Annabelle so evil? Well, for starters, she is said to be inhabited by a demonic entity. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren documented the doll's activities for decades, after they claimed a nurse took Annabelle home from a hospital where patients would mysteriously go missing and then show up mutilated. They say she can't leave the house, because if she does, the demon inside her can possess someone else. According to the Warrens, the demon in Annabelle is incredibly powerful, and it uses the doll to do its bidding. But exactly how much evil is there really in this doll? That's hard to say. After all, there have been some pretty convincing hoaxes when it comes to ghosts and demons. But whatever the truth may be, Annabelle is definitely one creepy doll that most people should stay away from. Her legend has inspired 7 movies so far, and a whole lot of nightmares. But Annabelle isn't the only object with a dark side. Meet the Busby Stoop Chair. Now this thing looks like any other old wooden chair except for one little detail. It is supposedly cursed. Legend says that whoever sits in the chair will die a violent death, and apparently the curse is pretty serious. Thomas Busby, the man the curse is named after, was a brutal murderer who killed his wife and children in the early 1700s. He was eventually caught and executed, but not before he had passed down his violent streak to his chair. Today, the Busby Stoop Chair is locked up tight in Thirsk, England, suspended from the ceiling so no one can sit in it. But that hasn't stopped people from trying. Despite the risk, people have snuck into the building where the chair is kept and sat in it anyway. And according to local legend, they haven't gotten away with it either. Many of them have died soon after in horrible accidents or violent crimes. So is there really such a thing as a murder chair? Well, maybe. While there's no evidence to support the curse, there have certainly been some strange deaths associated with the chair. In 1978, a teenager sat in the chair and died in a car accident the following year. Another man died after climbing into it to take a photo. Whether you believe in curses or not, that's a pretty scary coincidence. But the scariest haunted objects aren't always big and imposing. Take, for example, the Kohl-i-Noor diamond. This thing is one of the most valuable diamonds in the world, and it has a history that dates back centuries. But it's also said to be cursed. Legend has it that anyone who possesses the diamond will be doomed to misfortune. One of the most famous owners of the Kohl-i-Noor was the Indian ruler Shah Jahan, who commissioned the Taj Mahal as a mausoleum for his beloved wife. But despite his great wealth and power, Shah Jahan was eventually overthrown by his son and spent his last years in prison. Some say the curse followed him even then. Others say that the Kohl-i-Noor is haunted by the spirits of those who were killed in its extraction. Whether you believe in curses or not, there's no denying that the Kohl-i-Noor has a bloody history. Today, it's part of the British crown jewels, but it's still considered cursed by many. Now let's turn our attention to another cursed object, the painting of the Anguished Man. It was created in the 1970s by an artist who allegedly mixed his own blood into the paint. The result is a disturbing image of a man in a Victorian nightgown with blood dripping down his arm, and it's said to exude a dark energy. So who is the Anguished Man, and why is he so upset? Well, that's a bit of a mystery. The painting was found in an abandoned house, and the only clue to its origin was a scrap of newspaper that mentioned a painter who had killed himself after finishing the painting. Could the painting be cursed? Well, some paranormal investigators think so. They've reported strange electromagnetic readings around the painting, as well as nightly whispers and shadows moving. The current owner of the painting says that she feels dread when she looks at it, and won't sleep at night for fear of what might happen. Whether you believe in haunted paintings or not, there's no denying that the Anguished Man is a creepy piece of art. But the scariest haunted objects aren't always paintings or jewelry. Sometimes they're everyday items that you wouldn't expect to be cursed. Take voodoo dolls, for example. These dolls are used in voodoo rituals, and they're said to be able to inflict harm on the person they represent. When you stick pins in the doll, it's supposed to cause pain to the person the doll represents. But what if the doll takes matters into its own hands? That's what happened to one woman who bought a voodoo doll from a shop in New Orleans. She put the doll in her room, and soon started having nightmares about a woman in a Victorian nightgown coming to kill her. Then strange things started happening around the doll. Objects would move and change position overnight, and she could hear scratching sounds when no one was around. Some people believe that voodoo dolls are actually possessed by evil spirits, which use the dolls to carry out their revenge. When it comes to haunted artifacts, no two stories are exactly alike. Each item has its own unique history and legend, and each person who encounters it has their own beliefs and experiences. For example, some people believe that haunted objects are nothing more than psychological tricks of the mind, while others believe that they are physical manifestations of evil spirits. There's no right or wrong way to think about it. It's all up to your own personal beliefs and experiences. What do you think? Are haunted objects real? If so, what's the most haunted object you've ever seen? Let us know in the comments below. And, speaking of haunted objects, let's take a look at this doll called the Okiku Doll. This doll is said to be possessed by the spirit of a girl who died tragically. And it's not the only one of its kind. In fact, there are said to be many haunted dolls in Japan, each with its own story and legend. So what makes the Okiku Doll so special? Well, for starters, its hair is said to grow on its own. Caretakers of the doll have reported feeling a deep sadness when they're around it, as well as cold spots and unexplained noises at night. Some believe that the doll is trying to communicate with them, while others believe that it's simply a reminder of the tragic fate of the girl who once lived in its body. But the scariest haunted objects aren't always dolls. Sometimes they're everyday objects that you wouldn't expect to be haunted. Take books, for example. Books are said to be able to hold memories and emotions, and some believe that they can even hold ghosts. One such book is the Ghost Book, a leather-bound volume that's said to be haunted by the ghost of its former owner. The book is said to move on its own and even interact with people. Some believe that the ghost is simply lonely and looking for someone to talk to, while others believe that it's angry and looking for revenge. Musical instruments are also said to be able to hold memories and emotions, and some believe that they can even hold ghosts. One such instrument is the devil's violin, a violin that is said to be haunted by the ghost of a musician who died while playing it. The violin is said to play music on its own and even interact with people. Some believe that the ghost is simply lonely and looking for someone to play with, while others believe that it's angry and looking for revenge. Finally, let's take a look at some haunted furniture. Furniture is said to be able to hold memories and emotions, and some believe that they can even hold ghosts. One such piece of furniture is the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis. This mansion is said to be haunted by the ghosts of the family who lived there. The Lemps were a wealthy family, but they were plagued by tragedy. Several members of the family died in the house under mysterious circumstances, and some believe that their ghosts still linger there. Visitors to the house have reported hearing crying, laughter, and footsteps from objects that appear in perfect order one moment and disturb the next. We hope you enjoyed learning about some of the most haunted objects in the world. If you did, please like this video and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.